Hey guys, what is up? Keith Mitchell here, and my buddy Carl May Smart, who's doing that weird shit again. As you may have noticed, this is not an episode of Spectator Mode. This is, part of the YouTube video initiative that we're talking about. We're going to do a lot more this year, and the last day or so has been really interesting for gamers and fans of Indiana Jones and Star Wars, which I happen to be both of. I'm not sure about Carl's background. Carl, are you a fan of those IPs?
I'm a fan of many IPs actually. Uh, Indiana Jones, I will watch, but I do tend to find them a little bit lengthy at times, and I do fall asleep quite often to them. But I like the action adventure concept behind it. But
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough. I mean, I
I,
mean,
I, I have I have my limits.
who falls asleep watching an Indiana Jones movie? Like, man, come on. You know what? That's fine. Everybody has their own taste and interests. I can't.
I don't know
I
who
can't.
falls asleep watching television, Keith.
Yeah. So before this, I was watching Insert Coin, which is one of my favorite video game documentaries. I watched it all the way through. I got to the end. They were talking about Cruising USA, and something happened. And I just fell asleep. And it wasn't because of the documentary. I'm getting old. I'm 44 years old. Old man. That's what it is. I fell asleep. But anyway, as I mentioned, this has been an interesting day for fans. So I wanted to talk about the Indiana Jones, and I also want to talk about the Star Wars piece. So a big cloud is covering the whole Indiana Jones game because Bethesda and Machine Games are working on this game. Now, Machine Games hasn't really done an action adventure game that I'm aware of outside of the Wolfenstein games. And actually, they did a couple of licensed games back in the day. I think they did a Riddick one. He's looking up for something. What are you grabbing? He's picking. All right. Well, he's ignoring me. So the big thing surrounding us right now is everybody is wondering if this game is going to be an Xbox exclusive because Microsoft owns Bethesda. But there's been a lot of misinformation floating around because Bethesda is not owned by Microsoft as of yet. They made the deal, but the company has not finalized the deal. I think it's not going to get finalized until like what May, June of 2021. So the company still has some time to put games out on other platforms, or if there were already deals already inked, like Ghostwire, what is it? Tokyo Ghostwire or Ghostwire Tokyo, getting it backwards, and Deathloop are games that are heading to the PlayStation platform, and they can't scrap those deals. So we don't know what the deal is about the Indiana Jones games. However, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about console exclusivity because I hate that topic. I want to talk about the fact that we're actually getting Indiana Jones game that's not a Lego game, and that excites me because this is the original world globe hopping treasure hunter before there was Laura Croft, before there was Nathan Drake, there was Indiana Jones. And this is exciting news for me because we get to play with Indiana Jones, the guy who was named after the dog. I named the
Yeah.
dog Indy.
That's name the dog Indy. It's definitely one of those franchises that has been missing from the gaming space for a long time,
Oh yeah,
and especially when there was like the big push for things like Uncharted series and the Tomb Raider series, there was no anything with Indiana Jones.
right.
Besides the Lego games, which within their own rights they are very enjoyable games. A lot of the Lego series is top stuff. I'm not taking away from that at all, but I don't think we have had a actual full-fledged proper Indiana Jones title in what 2 to 3 generations.
So I actually said that in my article, and somebody corrected me. We actually had an Indiana Jones game back in 1999. Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. It was a PC only game.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I don't remember that game. But other than that, it's
I do. It was a bit of a puzzle solver more so than Indiana Jones action game,
right.
but it's again. I think that the Tomb Raider Uncharted formula is something that should have been applied to Indiana Jones many years ago.
Almost definitely. Oh, and I'm actually wrong. It also came out for like Nintendo 64 and all that. But yeah, not many people remember this game because it's been so long ago. And yeah, we haven't had a game, Indiana Jones game since then. So as you were saying, I agree. This character guy, because anytime I think about Indiana Jones, I think of Harrison Ford. Should have already had a game, multiple games. How many Star Wars games have we had? And
Too many.
we've only had one Indiana Jones game outside the Legos game, which I'm gonna say you're probably gonna like keep you weird. I'm not a fan of those games. I don't like the Lego games.
To each their own.
Yeah, exactly. My family loves them, but then they always get to a certain part. And they're like, "We can't do this. Help us." I'm like, "Lego game? No, I help you not. Go figure out yourself. I don't want to help you." Then they stop playing. So I'm a bad father. What can I say? I don't like those games. I'm not going to play them. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
but like with this announcement of the Indiana Jones game, not only have we also got the word that Disney is looking to relaunch the LucasArts development branding. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the IP. Are we going to see something like an amalgamation of the movies? Are we going to see an original story? I'm curious to see what they're gonna. Can they get Harrison Ford to play Indiana Jones, even just
oh
through
my god,
voiceovers?
they have to do that if they're making an Indiana Jones game. Let me just add real quick. They're calling it the LucasFilms Games Group. Whatever. We all know what it is. If they do
It's
this,
LucasArts Reborn.
yeah,
Goddammit.
they need to give him. They need to bring him back. Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. He needs to be there. He needs to voice this. Even if they do multiple games, he has to come back for at least one, just one. Or
Yeah.
maybe they don't even use.
Worst comes to worst, we get
Don't you dare! Don't
no,
don't
no.
you don't.
Okay,
I know what you're
fine.
about to say.
What's this? Mr. LeBouf?
No, I knew you were going to do that. No,
Yeah, Indiana Jones Jr.
Junior. That movie needs to be wiped from the face of
Junior.
existence. No, no, no.
What you don't want Crystal Skull 2? You don't want the further adventures of Junior Jr.?
Oh my god, no, no. No, seriously though. Again, Indiana Jones has been a series I've watched time and time again as a child and even as an adult. I'm excited. We don't have much about this. All we have is the tweet, and I'll just read that off real quick. A new Indiana Jones game with an original story is in development from our studio, MachineGames, and will be executive produced by Todd Howard in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games. It will be some time before we have more to reveal, but we're very excited to share today's news. So we likely won't see or hear anything for this for quite some time. Maybe we'll hear or see something during E3 2021. Who knows? But yeah, that was some interesting news, exciting for game fans everywhere. And outside of that, we had an announcement as of today, which is January 13th, 2021. And that has to deal with another Disney Lucas art IP, which is Star Wars. This one really got me excited. We're getting an open world Star Wars game from Ubisoft and Massive, the people who gave us, Carl's making those weird face trying to distract me, the people that made The Division and The Division 2. Carl, I'm gonna let you go first for this one because I know you're probably a bigger Star Wars fan than I
I guess I was the guy who reviewed the sequels trilogy on the site and shit all over it.
I was gonna say I don't know if that makes you a fan, but go ahead.
I may or may not be a fan. I don't know. It's like, hey, I've still got this, which is a coffee coaster.
Did you dig it out
You
just
know.
for this segment? Did you just dig that out?
I did. I
Mm.
did. I dug that out for this segment, but then I also have the very excellent, and I still haven't finished, Jedi Fallen Order,
You're not a fan if you have not finished that game.
and I've still got this, which is still in the
And you
shrink
haven't
wrap.
played that game either. Oh, come on, man. You're not a fan. You're not a fan. Not a
No,
fan.
I'm not. The missus is obsessed with Grogu though. Like we have like that many Grogu pops and plushies and all sorts of stuff. If it's got Grogu, we've got it somehow.
Thank you
Um,
for saying the name properly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Even though we should really be calling him what he is, Baby Yoda.
Grogu? Yeah, his name is
Baby Yoda.
Grogu. All right, so he's not going to talk.
No. He's Mando Jr.
Okay, here we
He's
go.
Mando Jr.
Oh God, here we go. All right, so
But yeah, like an open world Star Wars game made by Ubisoft.
published by Ubisoft, but made by Massive. Now we can give Massive all the flack, but the Division and Division 2 underlying design was great. The implementation of the game is a different story. So I can give them, they made the world of the Division and Division 2 were spot on to Washington D.C. and New York. They were great. I will not take that away from them. So if they can apply the same thing to the Star Wars license,
It's
I'm there.
just well, that's the thing. It's like the visual aesthetic and everything else that Massive Games can do is extremely well done. You know, you and I have spent many hours on the Division 2 together playing like the multiplayer and just generalized piss farting around. And we enjoyed it. It's just that I think when it comes to their AI and their gameplay mechanics, like the shooting mechanics and stuff like that, I get a bit weary because as we both experienced when we were playing Division 2, there was massive ramp ups and spikes in AI difficulty, even on lower levels when everybody was low level, that really shouldn't have been.
I just wasn't a fan of that game at all.
Now,
Sorry, I just wasn't.
well, yeah,
It was like you
but
said before. It's too much of the first game. It was like an expansion that should have been for the first
yeah,
game.
well, that's just it. I hope that they do work on a different gameplay engine when it comes to this because Star Wars really it doesn't lend itself to a shooter too well, but it's more of like when you think about it, like what was the last time we had like a Star Wars open world game was what the Star Wars
Knights of the Old Republic, the RPG.
yeah, not the RPG, the
Yeah,
Knights of the Old Republic RPG. Think about like how many people played that. No, most of them played a Jedi or a Sith. They played a lightsaber wielder. So that's a completely different style of mechanic than the shooter stuff that's been put out before.
yeah, and that's worrisome because again, you bring up a valid point. You know, the game kind of lends itself more to melee with the lightsabers, and you do have some range combat. There are a lot of people use blasters. I'm going back to the Star Wars MMO once upon a time ago, Star Wars Galaxies. That lend itself pretty decent to that. Yeah,
That was a good mix.
yeah,
That was a good mix.
the
That one.
game engine for the Division 2 and the Division, I'm just thinking, yeah, there wasn't really any kind of melee in that game, was there? There wasn't any. It was all ranged. You right, buddy? It was all ranged. You're right.
Too much nature inside my house.
Mm. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I don't know what they're gonna do, and it's way too early before we see anything. I doubt we'll hear or see anything about this game
Oh,
until next year.
look, if that. You know, I reckon it's going to be at least maybe 2023, 24, even
Oof.
25 before we might start seeing something
I don't think it's that far
in
away.
regards to this games. Well, think about it, you know, the average development time for a game of that size is
True,
anywhere up to 5 years.
true.
Even if they're already working on it, which I highly doubt considering they made the announcement today, um, it would still take at least a minimum of 3 years before they have something even remotely playable ready for close to the market.
So
So
yeah,
it
yeah,
is
yeah,
literally. I reckon
true.
it's going to be about 2024, 2025 before we see this open world Star Wars game from
That's
Massive
kind of
Games.
depressing. That's kind of depressing now that you say that because that does make valid points. Wow. Okay, but I wanted to get to the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. The more important thing about this is we're finally seeing that EA no longer has exclusive rights to the Star Wars games. Now, for the last how many years? 10 years? It's been EA has been the sole developer of Star Wars games. We got Battlefront 1 and 2. We got Jedi Fallen Order, which is a phenomenal game, which you should really play. Carl, or
I'm
finish.
working on it.
We recently got Star Wars Squadrons, which is a great combat flight simulator game for Star Wars. What else we had? The original Battlefront games. The original Battlefront game. Man, yeah, EA's had this license for a very long time. I think since 2013. 2013, EA's had this license. And now another company is getting into the mix. And I think that's great. I think because the longest time they've had it, they probably stagnated. And then only the last couple years they really got off their butts and did something because they really drugged the license through the dirt with the reboot of the Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, but the thing with that is though, even though EA has had a exclusive contract, it hasn't stopped other companies from making Star Wars games though. You know, and I once again we're bringing up that those piles of bricks that you don't like. But the Lego Star Wars games were also made at the same time as the EA deal,
Yeah, that's
including
yeah.
the upcoming, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga set, which is meant to be out later this year.
That was a weird thing because it was some kind of deal because Lego had rights to make the toys and they can make a game out of the toys. That's weird. They also did the Indiana Jones thing as well. I don't understand that licensing whatsoever. But we'll say
Well,
for
this is
more
the thing,
mature
but the
games.
thing is but that's the thing, like, there isn't really like, when Disney decides, "Hey, we're gonna go and do this," they'll do it, because that's just the way they work. Um, they really don't care if some other company goes, "Hey, you're in a breach of contract," and the mouse goes, "Ah, here's money." But it's also could be that it could be like, okay, yeah, you're working on, because if you really think about it, things like Battlefront, Jedi Fallen Order, Squadrons, they're all sort of non-canon or extended universe games. They're not working with the main Star Wars license in a way.
I thought I thought they said that not Squadron, but Fallen Order was maybe I'm wrong. Keep talking. Let me check that out. I thought they said that it was. Fallen Order
It's
was canon.
it's meant to be it's an extended universe game. So it's not like something that's happening during, it's like it happens during the events of some of the movies or something, but the actual story is a side story, so like the novels used to be.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, they thank you for saying it. You said the novels used to be because when Disney purchased Star Wars, they were like, these novels don't exist anymore. Goodbye. Everybody was
Which
like,
is really annoying
it's like
because
what?
those novels were really well done.
Yeah. So now this is
Yeah,
part of the canon. So okay,
yeah, but
okay.
but then you look at like Battlefront 2, that's sort of more of a sort of a throwaway sort of battle royale style game. And even Squadrons, it doesn't really take place
Yeah.
during the main stories or anything. It's, again, it's extended universe canon
I mean,
or
Squadrons
something
doesn't
like that, the
even
way
need
they're doing.
to. It doesn't even need to. It's just basically a reason to, hey, we got spaceships. We're going to use them to blow people up. This is what this is. It's its own self-contained story that was around people wanting X-Wing versus TIE Fighter to come back to the forefront. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal that somebody should
But
play.
like a Star Wars open universe game, like it'd be great. The only thing is like, do they decide to set it during a certain period of the game, or do they sort of go, "Hey, we're just gonna sort of give you references to all your favorite characters," or in the case of the sequel trilogy, your not so favorite characters, and you just interact with everybody in like some sort of weird mixed timeline.
That's the question that a lot of people have been asking, and that's the question I have. When is this going to take place? Is it going to take place like during the original trilogy, the later series? Is it going to take place during the Mandalorian now? Is it its own new timeline? When is this going to take place? Because you have so many different timelines in the Star Wars universe that this can be placed, or as I mentioned, its own complete different timeline. It boggles the mind. When you're the fan of the Star Wars universe, and you're that much of a geek or a nerd or an enthusiast of this universe,
Nerd.
there's just so many things you're like, where is this going to take place? How is this going to take place? What characters are going to be in there? Are we going to see Luke? Are we going to see any of the newer characters? What do we got going on here? What are we seeing? Are there going to be Jedi in here? Is it not going to be Jedi? What?
Or is it like, Knights of the Republic, where they actually had no actual references to the main character, to the actual stories, and just went because it was a completely different era.
This is going to be good stuff. I can't wait. I shouldn't have talked about this now. I really the only thing I don't
You get yourself typed up is what's happening,
what
man.
I'm doing right now is thinking, why have I yet to buy a lightsaber? So here's a funny story.
Oh, dude, get yourself a custom one. I went and bought one during
This is
the during that virus that shall not be named,
with
and I
yeah.
love it, man.
Well, this is what I was
Me
gonna
and the
say.
missus, we got one each. It's awesome.
This is what I was gonna say. So a couple years ago, when we went to E3 2017, we took the kids to Disney because it was like, hey, let's go to Disney. And I bought them their own little those customized lightsaber toys, and they destroyed them. I should have bought my own. Where is he going? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, you suck, dude. And you got a Sith one. Why do you have a Sith one? Why is it not blue or green? Traitor.
Please, you know me. I play the heel and everything.
Traitor. I mean, I have some Star
But
Wars
yeah,
stuff,
it's a very basic custom saber, but better
once
than nothing.
once upon a time ago, there were stores that carried those expensive lightsabers, and I always wanted to buy one, but I was like, I have kids.
The big Force FX series
Yeah,
ones that are like,
yeah.
yeah, man, don't bother. Don't these are actually better constructed than most of the official stuff, even including that $200 thing in Galaxy's Edge.
I really need to get one of those. But yeah. I'm excited about this. Carl's just playing with the lightsaber. That's really messing with your camera, buddy. It's making your screen all pixelated. FYI. But yeah, guys, that was it. That was pretty much it. We just wanted to jump on and talk about some Star Wars and some Indiana Jones. As we did say, we are going to do more video content this year, and this is just one of the many that you'll see here at the Outerhaven. Carl.
Yep, as news breaks and everything else that goes down, we will endeavor to put more of it onto YouTube as well as the website. But first and foremost, you should always check the outerhaven.net for all of your news, notes, and opinions, including reviews, previews, and everything else. Otherwise, just smash that subscribe button. Like, I don't know, somebody smashes something.
Somebody
smashes Loki.
Like somebody smashed somebody's face today. Yeah.
So smash the like and subscribe buttons like somebody owes you money.
Smash it like you just got killed in a Gundam suit. That happens a lot.
Oh, we so need to talk about that new Gundam in Japan. Oh my god.
Oh man, that'll be another segment. We can talk about that over other cohorts that are. Wait, am I the only Gundam fan here? Other than you? I might be.
I think so.
God, that's so weird. We need more Gundam fans at the Outerhaven. We're also hiring. If you're a Gundam fan, come on over. Let's talk, because we need more Gundam fans. All right, guys. On behalf of myself and Carl, we are out of here. Thanks for watching. And again, hit that subscribe button. Talk to you later.